Welcome back, everybody, to some more End of a New Beginning here on Hearts of Iron 4, playing as the Kingdom of Prussia. If you haven't seen the series up to this point, there is a link in the description below. You can go all the way back to the beginning from that link. And also, as I say at the beginning of every video, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Watch the video all the way to the end. Drop a like if you would. Those things are all greatly appreciated. It's August of 1865, and we are headed for what I would expect will be the inevitable war with Austria. So we've got to make sure that we are ready for that. And there's some things that I can do to get ready, primarily just making sure that my army is prepared and fully up to strength, which it certainly is not right now. You can see my dragoon regiments are only at 36% strength. Most of my infantry regiments are fully built up, but we've got some work to do to prepare for that war. I should mention that at the end of every episode, we've been doing a question for the cabinet. And the cabinet was evenly divided on the question of whether or not we focus on building civilian factories or we focus on building specific industries such as steel, fabric, logging camps, etc. So since we were evenly divided on that question, once this civilian industry is done, I'm going to start building some of those other factories, and we're going to kind of go with my choice. In this situation, I'll break the deadlock. I'm going to focus on building some steel mills, some logging camps, some textile mills, and see where we're at that way before we continue working on some civilian factories. The Kingdom of Württemberg stands with Austria, so that would be down here in the south of Germany. I believe is that this one right here? No, it's Baden. It would be this one here. So after many letters sent back and forth between the two German states, the Kingdom of Württemberg finally decided to settle with the Austrian Empire as their ally should war in the German areas break out. This decision, however, did not come as a surprise to many, seeing how Kingdom of Württemberg is a South German state. Still, this proves that the idea of the Trias, an alliance between the South German states in order to become the third German power, the third Deutschland, as it is sometimes called, is now officially a thing of the past. So we're going to have to keep in mind that when we go to war, we're not just going to war with Austria, we're also potentially going to war with other German states. And I think somebody did mention that to me in the comments, that I needed to be prepared for that. Okay, so in the decisions now, we can see there's a few new things. And I did promise somebody that we'd go ahead and do this carnival. So let's go ahead and do the Kölner Carnival. But also we've got right here Prussian reforms. We will attempt to push some reforms in the German Confederation that would allow us to unify Germany more easily. Austria may be upset at our ambition to do that very thing, but we cannot neglect our own interests just to appease them. We should probably prepare for military conflict if we wish to take this decision. This may lead to a conflict with the Austrian Empire. So let's do that. I don't know how long that's going to take. We'll see, because that's probably going to show up. Oh, financial preparations for war. We added one civilian industry from that. I don't see any further actions. We'll see if anything. Oh, here we go. Unite the German states. Yeah, we're not there yet. We still have to do the 7 Weeks War, the Franco-Prussian War. So we'll see what happens. We may be headed to war here. In response to our ambition to unify Germany expressed by the reforms we have attempted to pass recently inside the German Confederation, Austria has mobilized its army and is doing maneuvers near our borders. Many of our military higher-ups seem concerned, and some have already urged us to take action. So we're going to privatize the railways. All right, so it looks like we're ramping up for war here. I have gone ahead and moved 22 divisions, or I'm in the process of moving 22 divisions. Over here, just so we've got some to deal with any other states that might side with Austria during this war, which leaves me 54 divisions to take on an Austrian army, which has a total of 145 divisions. But mine should be more powerful. Here we go. Preparations for war. Let's do it. This should be interesting. Nationalizing the military industry. We're going to add 2 military industry slots. Things are ramping up quickly now. Supporting Austrian socialism. Yes, it will divide their country. Sure, why not? So I think we're going to have a bunch of decisions that are firing one after the other here with all of this. Russia appears to be a bit more open to a good relationship with our nation. Oh, supporting Hungarian separatists. Yes, let's do that. Strengthen our power, our ties with Russia. Man, all kinds of little things happening as we ramp up for war right now. Inviting our allies. Send out invitations at once. We will invite friendly countries. Oh, the Confederate States of America and the United States of America have signed a white peace. Does that mean the Confederates exist? They do. So the Confederates have won the American Civil War. Not only have they won, but they got additional states that were not historically part of the Confederacy. They got Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia. Those are all territories that were never historically a part of the Confederacy. So that's pretty cool. So that definitely changes the landscape of world events right now. Austria has expressed its concerns over the rising tensions in Germany, but at the same time criticized our ambition to unify Germany in a recent letter. So it's July 1866. I don't think we have any further decisions that we can make regarding all of this right now. Looks like we're just kind of waiting for events to unfold. The German Confederation is nearing its end after rising tensions and unsuccessful meetings, and we are better off leaving it. The end of an era for us. Alright, so this has gotta mean war is coming. Egypt's declaring war. So where are we at now? I think we're down to military supremacy. Nope. Unlocks the Prussian army law for military spendage. But we actually have to complete some other things as well before we can do that. We've got to deal with the naval tree here. Message from the Austrian Empire. Changes their diplomatic status with us. Cancels the non-aggression pact. War is coming. And it's coming soon, I think. The German Confederation is officially over. It has finally succumbed to pressure from all sides. There it is. After rising tensions in central Germany between Prussia and Austria, a lot of unsuccessful meetings, and the ambition for German unification expressed by the German Confederation has finally succumbed to the pressure this morning. The Confederation is officially dead by a decree signed by Prussia earlier today and is now dissolved. Do we have allies at this point is my question. Just Mecklenburg. Is there anybody else that we can get to join in an alliance? We can justify war goals at this point, which I don't think we want to do until we're ready. So you can see here the Austrians have Hesse Castle, Hanover, Thuringia. Man, we got a lot of opponents coming our way. Yes, embargo them. We're going to ramp up the tensions, get this thing completed and dealt with. We're going to definitely need allies, though. I don't suppose the Russians would be interested in an alliance. No, we could go to war with them if we wanted to, though. Strike against Saxony. If we are to unify Germany, we must take our chances, and there's never been a better moment to strike. We must attack Saxony now and initiate the war. Okay. War in Germany. The rising tensions between Prussia and Austria and the dissolution of the German Confederation have led to sharp rise in willingness for war in the region of Germany. This, combined with the Prussian ambition to unify Germany, has led to unavoidable conflict. Prussia and its mostly northern allies are now fighting Austria and its allies in a war that will surely decide the future of Germany. So here we go. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and issue our orders to go ahead and cross into Austria with those folks there. Oh, actually, that's not them. This is them. These units, I actually don't have orders yet. So let's go ahead and take a look at the, which map is it? Okay, so thus far, here are the allies, and here are our enemies. So let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and unpause. And we're going to start seeing additional forces jump into this. Let's take a look and see who's on what side. The British-Mexican War is still going on. So thus far, we only have Mecklenburg on our side. Pretty much everybody else is on the other side, but we still have pretty equal fielded manpower. So that's the good news. And once we knock out some of these smaller German states, that'll certainly help things. So let's do this. Let's go ahead one more time and look at now who we're at war with. So let's go deal with Baden, if we can. We'll send some units up to go deal with Oldenburg. That shouldn't be too difficult. Alright, people are still going to be jumping in on either side as we go. Good start as we start marching on Austria. Saxony has finally jumped in. And so is Württemberg. So there's that. Let's go ahead and give some orders here. Try to take out some of these folks as quickly as we can. Prussian reserves mobilizing. Man, there's a lot of enemies jumping in on this side. Opposition returns. Yeah. We can invite to faction. Who can we invite? The Kingdom of Italy. Yes, please. That'll help us because that opens up an entirely new front on the other side for the Austrians that they don't want to have to deal with. And I think, yeah, Lombardy, these guys are an ally as well, so that gives Italy a chance to grab some territory. Man, this thing just turned ugly quick. Lend-Lease coming from Italy. Wow. This is crazy. And now I've isolated those 4 divisions, unfortunately. What's the total manpower on each side? 866,000 on our side. Not nearly that many over there. Saxony's almost knocked out of the war already. We're just gobbling up Saxony quickly. We're pushing down into Austria. We may take Vienna fairly quickly. So once we take these folks here, we can turn some of these armies to dealing with the border there. In fact, I may have to send some now, just before they come in behind me. But we just have to hurry up and gobble up Saxony so we can turn and face north. We've also got these Austrian armies moving up toward Berlin. That's kind of a concern. Casualty-wise, 8,000 on our side, 54,000 already over there. Looks like Lombardy is going to fall fairly quickly to the Italians. And they're pushing forward into Austria-Hungary. Actually, just Austria at this point, huh? No, they're Austria-Hungary. Because Hungary's over here. I just don't think they're considered Austria-Hungary yet. Man, it'd be nice if we could gobble up some of these guys, get in behind him. He's sneaking around over here. He's just taking Berlin. So we've got to open up our front a little bit. Okay, so wait, what? The war has been won. I thought I was doing terribly. I just started trying to shift a bunch of units over here to retake Berlin, and it's telling me that we're going to win this thing. So we've signed a white peace. You can see we've gobbled up further territory. Prussia has gotten a lot bigger. I guess we caused enough casualties and took out enough of the other folks that it caused them to give up. I was hoping Italy would take some of Lombardy there, but I guess that didn't happen. Okay, so we won that war. So that's one more step in the process toward unification. So now we're at a place where we can actually justify some war goals against some of these smaller German states that have not yet been taken. We do have a truce with them, and so until the 19th of October, it's a pretty short truce actually, we can't do anything. But after that, we might be able to press some of these claims. Now, I don't know if we'll get decisions that'll help with that or not. We can try that instead and see if there are decisions involved. But I don't really see any. Okay, here we go. North German Confederation. Since we hold a lot of power in northern Germany right now, we should attempt to unite the states in a confederation. Maybe it could even replace the German Confederation. Yes, let's do it. So the difference is we need an association of the nations closest to us. We need a strong, centralized... yeah, we're not going to form a confederation. We're going to form it as a single country. Let's do that. Our neighbors grow suspicious. Well, that's totally okay. So there, I didn't have to actually declare war on any of them. I just gobbled them up in the North German Confederation, which I believe should open up some new focus trees for me. You can see we've got a new flag now. We're no longer just Prussia. I believe now we should have yeah, the North German Confederation is going to be open to us, I think, as soon as we're done with the current focus that we're working on. The countries of Frankfurt, Hesse, Thuringia, and Saxony, formerly neutral or even enemies to us, have appealed to us wanting to join the North German Confederation. Yes, please. There you go. So you're starting to see Germany take shape. We've just got the southern folks to deal with now. Württemberg. Who else do we have? Baden, Saxony, or not, it's Bavaria. Darmstadt, Palatinate. So let's take a look at the ledger now. Somehow, despite all of that, we're actually weaker than we were before. We're weaker than we were before that all started. I don't understand that. We have more factories, we have more population, we have more divisions than we had before, but somehow we dropped below Austria in power. Okay, interesting. So one of the things that happened by gobbling up all those states is we suddenly find ourselves with a great collection of military equipment we didn't have before. So we're going to go ahead and start building up some new, I know they're called infantry regiments, but they're actually infantry divisions. So that's what we're going to change the name to, just to better reflect what they are. All right, that makes more sense. We've now jumped considerably ahead of Austria in power, not quite to France, but that'll happen when we take them on in the Franco-Prussian War. We've got significantly more factories than them, double the number of divisions, and you can see now that Austria is dropping in power. They're significantly behind us now. United States of America is still 7th, so they're still hanging on to great power status. Be interesting to see how that all happens between them and the Confederates moving forward. So let's go ahead now and choose the North German Confederation in the focus tree. And you can see where that's going to lead the Reichstag for the Confederation. We're going to have some choices to gain a lot of legislative power. And then eventually we're going to get these options here. Befriending South Germany, befriending Russia, befriending England, befriending Austria. These will all be really helpful things to be able to do. And that's going to lead us, obviously, toward the Franco-Prussian War. So I'm spreading out my armies. I had them all bunched up on the border with France, just kind of thinking ahead to the next war. But that also means major attrition to those units for being all in one place and needing supply. So I've spread them out. When we get closer to war, we can move them back. So let's take a look here. I think eventually we're going to need both of these things. So it doesn't much matter which way we go. I'm curious to know if there's anything else we can do right now. Well, yeah, eventually we need to do all this stuff so we can prepare German unification. So I think we also need, what do we need? Complete the focus, end the temporary Reichstag. So we've actually got to get down to this right here. So let's go ahead and keep going down this route. The Germans are angry. Our populace has taken to the streets to enforce their demands for more rights and self-determination. If we were to fight them, our government would stand weakened, but if we don't, we might have to give in to their demands. So we'll lose 250 legislative power, which we can afford to do if we want to keep things, or we can expand rights. We go from absolutism to parliamentary suffrage. I don't think so. Let's go ahead and hang on to our power, at least for now. It's November 1867. I'm working down toward the end of the temporary Reichstag. I'm not sure if that's the last step in order to get toward the Franco-Prussian War or if more will need to happen. But I desperately want to remove the anti-Prussian sentiment, national spirit, because it's giving me a 20% reduction to national stability right now. So that's a pretty big hit that I'd really like to change. So I know this wasn't a particularly long episode, but I wanted to make sure that we got one in today. And we're going to wrap it up right there, February of 1868. We're about to complete Militärwesen, and that'll lead to end the temporary Reichstag. And I would imagine one way or the other, the next episode is going to involve the Franco-Prussian War. We'll see if we get that far. Historically, 1870 is the start of the war, so I think we'll certainly get to that point. But let me know your thoughts. I don't have a particular vote for the cabinet today. There just aren't really any decisions to be made. So rather than just kind of make up something arbitrary, we'll just wait until the next episode and pose another question to you. But in the meantime, please drop a like. Please leave a comment if you would. And we'll see you again in a couple of days with another episode. Thanks for watching.